So now this call is being recorded
All right.
for the purpose of debate.
Okay.
So,
Well, hey, put that in the top, in the title, dude, in parentheses. So that way we don't have to keep telling everyone. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Say recorded for posterity or something. I don't know.
Right. Okay. So, let's go on that just a
What's up, dog?
Hello. You know I did inform people that we were recording the call, right?
Oh, I don't know you reported. Let me shut him hell up.
Yeah. So, we're doing a presidential debate. Okay, I put you on the ballot, Prophet. You can speak if you want to. If you don't want to, then you don't have to. I put you down as a Democrat, Prophet. A leftist modern liberal. Yeah. Hello, Georgie.
Hello, what's up?
Alright, so Kanga, let's go at it, man. Kanga.
Yes, sir. What's up? What's up?
Alright, so we're gonna start by talking about some issues, man. With Skype.
Commissions.
No, I said issues with Skype.
Issues. Yeah.
Yeah. People Skype. So let's talk about sanctions, okay, with people.
Sanctions. Okay.
Alright, so what people do you think we need to sanction out of our groups? Out of Skype groups that are infringing upon our freedoms?
So by sanction, you mean allow or regulate?
Sanction means to get rid of. So
Oh, get rid of. No. That's ostracization. Ostracization. That's an embargo.
Okay, you don't know what sanctions are?
Listen, a sanction. When you sanction something, it just means that you're controlling something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. Well,
So, like, if there's a boxing match, that's a sanctioned fight. So every Skype call is already sanctioned by its mod. You know what I mean?
but don't you think we should put sanctions on? Okay.
There's going to be a lot of secession if that's the case.
Do you think that we should put sanctions on people
I'm
like
taking a
Hunt Dave?
more Confederate kind of a position on the matter.
Well,
I think that each call should kind of, for the most part, run itself.
did I mess up on what I meant by sanctions? That sucks, man.
Oh, did you?
I might have, yeah.
You need to get somebody to write your speeches for you.
Dylan's not actually running for anything.
But you get somebody to write your questions.
Okay, yeah. You should maybe have someone else moderate the debate.
Yeah, somebody who got some brains. You see, when you use this McDonald's and Burger King, it's got a lot of garbage inside. And then you get high without knowing you're high.
So, Prophet, do you think we have an obesity problem throughout people on Skype? Do you think we need to
No.
up on the message of giving people to say, hey, you're fat, you need to lose weight?
No, it's all Putin's fault.
All Putin's fault.
I'm a Democrat.
Right. You are actually a Democrat, right?
Yeah, we should ban Putin. He cannot join any of the calls. And Kim Jong-un.
all right, sit in this group.
Legalize marijuana and cocaine. And the world would run better. Everybody gonna be high.
All right. Do we have any? Are there any other fucking what is the word?
You can't be swearing
Candidates?
on a debate.
Huh?
You cannot be swearing on a debate.
Well, I
Or else
know.
you
This
get
is
sanctioned.
Is it already on the record? Whoops. Sorry.
We can't swear on the debate. What do you mean, sir? Donald Trump does too, man. All right.
If you
I don't think I have time to.
This ain't your grandpa's debate.
Right,
you
right,
can
listen,
say
listen.
you can say BS, but you can't say bullshit.
Listen. I haven't had time to say my version of events for what I believe should be done with sanctions. So what I believe what should be done with the sanctions is we should sanction people who cause trouble in Skype groups, people who infringe upon other people's freedoms. Right. So what we should, I'm not saying we should get rid of them completely, but we should control them or get rid of them completely. Either we should sanction them or embargo them, like you said before. However, what we should think to do is we have to consider this not just with amongst ourselves, just as if I were to become president, but I would have to have the votes be done. So have the Congress, Skype Congress, help decide to vote on a sanction against somebody, whether or not they're sanctioned or embargoed on. It's Congress's mostly decision to decide whether or not they want it to be a sanction or an embargo. And I might propose something, or they might propose something. Who knows? Maybe it's somebody outside of the executive, legislative, or judicial branch who decides to propose such a thing. But the thing is, it has to go through the proper channels. In the legislative branch, when the president and the Skype group, the advisor, I would be willing to veto such sanctions or veto anything that passes through a law. However, 2/3 of the majority of the Skype Congress can override that veto, so it would work just like America.
You know what Skype needs more than a what's the word? Political strategy. It needs a judicial system.
Right, it does. We need judges, but what we also need is we need people willing to stand up for our rights, and that's what I want to do as our leader.
But Dylan, you can't be insulting people, calling them names, and swearing at them because it's very disrespectful.
That's way too much to ask from Skype as a community.
Yeah.
But you gotta set a standard.
That's what makes Skype go round, man. Partially, at least. It's 50% insult, 50% depth.
So that's why you're gonna have to sanction them.
Actually, scratch that. I'm gonna say 50% insult.
Okay, that's where we have to disagree, sir. When you say that we have to get rid of people for simply them being rude or insulting other people, that's getting rid of them for their free speech. Now, the only reason that you can get rid of somebody for yes, it is free speech because free speech. Okay, the only thing that goes against free speech is either you're yelling fire in a crowded theater, you're saying something that isn't true, you're either slandering somebody or you're libeling against somebody or whatever.
Yes.
Or you're infringing. You are infringing upon someone else's free speech by either talking over them, interrupting them, on purpose, mind you, not by accident.
So when somebody, Dylan, just a second. So when somebody tell you, you're a dumb ass faggot, you should shut up, right? And they keep talking over you. Is that the same thing? Like calling you names?
No, I mean if it's okay. Here's the thing. There's a balance that has to be made here, right? So you have to do your checks and balances here. You have to think to yourself: is it reasonable to talk over that person if they are being inconsiderate, if they are being completely and utterly immoral towards me, if they're going to be completely a nuisance to other people? So you have to realize where your rights are as well. You know, even though you don't want to drown out someone else's speech. I mean, if they're doing a bunch of hate speech, Go ahead and drown out their speech. Do it.
Well, I'm just saying like somebody like Andrew, who never listened to anybody and then start calling you names and trying to insult you into shutting up. I'm talking about that kind of thing. Call you names, swearing at you, telling you about your mother, your father,
See,
you're too
another
fat.
reason to stick with a Confederate type of order because it would be call by call. There's a place for that, you know. For instance, random topics is a very well moderated call. But even try as he might, Doug can't quite keep everyone from talking over each other. Sometimes
But
he
Doug
gets,
talks over everybody and he tell you shut up. And then he talks for an hour and
can
you
somebody
can't
escort this
disturb him.
gentleman out of here?
You can't disturb him. And then as soon as somebody say one word, he jump in and talk over you. And he doesn't recognize because he's the
Well,
smartest guy in the world.
now
In
here's the
his
thing.
mind.
I agree with you a little bit, but here's the thing, man. Is
Could you
that
stop taping this? Could you stop taping this?
it's a debate, man. You
No,
have
it's
to
not a
take it.
debate. We're discussing.
Listen,
This is
man,
not.
you're a little out of your own element right now. Like
Listen, Prophet, I
this is
informed
not
you that I was
this is not
recording.
exactly your domain. You know what I mean?
I informed you I was recording at the beginning.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
you have the option to opt out or not.
She opted out. All right. So anyway, what I was saying, so he can't have any legal snags against me because I recorded. I let him know,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he can't
Did you
sue me
change
for
the
anything.
name yet?
Yeah, it's Skype presidential debate campaign. For,
You need to add that recorded title so we don't have to keep telling people.
true.
And Dylan, yeah, you should do that more often. Not on me, by the way. Like I think that's the number one thing that's bringing down your popularity at the moment. Is this incident with Cassie?
Who's Cassie?
Buttercup.
What
Yeah.
happened with Cassie? Oh, it's running down my popularity.
Huh?
What's happening with her?
Um, the details, man. I'm not going to just divulge at this time, but you know very well what's happened, man.
So why would that make me unpopular?
Because you're going about things that way.
Very true.
In this instance, you are telling people, and I'm saying good. Continue telling people beforehand because otherwise you're on your way to skid territory. You know.
Well, that's probably what the most unpopular part of my platform is, that people think I hang out with skids, but that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go against the skids. I'm trying to do something against them, right? So I have stitched on skids before. I even ratted one of them out to the FBI. I'm not going to say which one. They are looking for him right now. He threatened to shoot up a school. I told the FBI, everything else that he threatened too, right? I sent the 20 something screenshots to the local police first, and then I went to the FBI about it. But he was trying to invade upon the freedoms of people's lives. Get online, okay? Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Those are the three basic rights that were given in the Constitution of the United States, as well as what we could have in the Skype Constitution. Okay? And so, therefore, I'm not exactly hanging around skids, but rather getting to know them on a personal level. So deep down, I can find their deepest secrets and expose them. That way, they can get in trouble, and I can screw them over. Your thoughts on that, presidential candidate?
What is it that a skid does that is immoral? What is the main problem that people have with skids?
The main problem that people have with skids is that they swat and they dox people and they do very stupid things to others. They're not hackers. They are an insult to hackers. I've heard you say this before. They do things that are not are immoral. However, they're not exactly dangerous all the time. They do go on hitman websites every so often on Tor browsers. Some of the most advanced skids, and they have had people killed, but on very rare occasions. More than likely, though, they attempt to have people killed, and it's fake hitman website, or it's real, and they never have it done. But mostly skids just bluff. Okay, they threaten things, but they never do. That's what skids do. They also try to act like they're hackers when they aren't, and they're script kiddies that rip off other people's scripts. They're basically posers. They're posers that act like they're dangerous, to try to intimidate other people into being afraid of them, when really they're just a bunch of pussies on the internet that just never made it in school with other people socially, and now they're doing this now. They're basically social rejects that are trying to seem powerful when they aren't. There you go. Your response, Presidential candidate Kanga. Hello?
The reason I asked you that, Don, is because it's not your attempts at fighting the skids or whatever. It's not a far cry from skid behavior itself,
Well, I kind of have to disagree with that. Why I have to disagree with that is because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to clean the Skype up. And what I mean by clean Skype up is I want to help get rid of some of the, not all the skids, but the bad skids, the negative skids, the ones that are exploiting girls, the ones that are extorting girls, or extorting males even. Especially the ones that are getting both males and females, primarily females, and it's males mostly that are doing this, that are getting females to show off their body parts so they'll threaten to do something to them. For example, this skid named Hugo got this girl to carve his name into her tits. Okay? Do you really want that in the Skype community?
No, but if I, for instance, were to the election, and if I were to carry out the outcasting of behavior, wouldn't your name come up? Not
Probably.
so much.
Probably, because I've been called a sex offender, even though I've never been convicted of any sexual crime.
I thought I witnessed you, not just a couple days ago, sharing pictures in a similar manner.
That was of a 19-year-old girl, and I feel kind of bad about that. I really do need to remove those pictures. That was kind of unchristian of me. I need to follow my religion more and not do stuff like that, because that is lust type stuff that you're not supposed to engage in certain sexual behaviors with someone unless you were married to them.
It's also somewhat gossipy, which is another tenet that would be building on.
So I try to follow Christian values, but also right libertarianistic values, or right libertarianism values. What political affiliation would you be in, by the way? I put you as right libertarianism in the polls, but is that really your party, or what party are you part of?
I have no idea what gave you that impression.
All right, I was wrong.
I wouldn't affiliate with any political party.
You would be independent.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so if you make it to the secondary election and the main election, I'll have to put you as independent, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Although my opinion does sway from time to time, I do have a dual nature, and I can admit it. I can warn people about it.
I got you.
Sometimes I choose to embrace a more Jungian philosophy. Survival of the fittest and whatnot. the but that's a side of me that I don't enjoy all the time. It's a survivalist perspective, really. I don't I don't think that's what the world needs. And given the opportunity to change the world, I would not push that agenda or that mindset on anyone. But it is the reality that I choose to deny, because it is reality. But it's not going to make anything better embracing it. Fight the good fight, even though it's uphill.
Yeah.
Question everything, of course. That's the main thing. That's something that I would push on people. Tell the truth. The truth is the truth will set you free. I don't have the memory, really, to keep track of a lie or a slander. That's got to be my least favorite thing that happens on Skype.
So,
make things
what do you think? What do you think should be done about Frost Jung-un, or what's known as Frost 4HD? Now, a lot of people have a problem with Frost 4HD. He once had a website in 2017 where he put naked pictures of all these different girls, including a few minor, and he claimed that he didn't know their age, although that was bullshit, right? So, what do we plan to do about Frost Jung-un? I know you have a different plan than I do.
Frost Jung-un.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You go first, Kanga. What do you plan to do about Frost Jung-un? Do you think we should sanction him, embargo him? What should we do?
I think that he is. I think there needs to be an investigation.
This is literally like real life role playing right now, like presidential.
I've only been on Skype for 2 years myself, and I really haven't encountered him, so I wouldn't know what the true story is, so I wouldn't act on anything.
I have a few different videos on my YouTube account that have to do with him admitting to swatting me, doxing me, doing all this different shit, claiming he's better than Marshall and all that shit, and him admitting to seeing Chloe's tits when she's 14. And he even claimed at one point that he knew she was 14 or 13. Yeah.
Send me to that particular one.
Oh my god, Georgie, you look like you're ready to be the first lady.
Frickin' Spoke said why wasn't he in this presidential thingy-majiggy?
Because he's going to be in
I don't
Congress.
look like...
So let me ask you a question for the people out there that are as confused as all of us. What even does Skype president get? Like, what is the whole point?
It's a good question.
What's the reward?
The main advisor of the Skype groups, at least mine and others probably. So what that means is I have 4 or 5 moderated chats. And they have ban lists on them that have this shit, that have that shit. And whoever wins has a say, and whoever goes on the ban list, whoever goes off, or whoever, he has a major say in it. And vote on it. It's whatever. It's just they're a main advisor, basically.
So the only calls I see actually following these guidelines are yours.
I mean, mostly, yeah.
So it's just a presidential campaign for your calls, is what you're saying. And maybe Rusty's.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing to be able to get a handle on, because there's a lot of fucking crazy shit that goes on in those calls.
Well, it's mostly because, here's why, Robert, right? It's because a lot of people complain about all these different fucking airheads and fuckheads that are in my calls. People keep leaving my calls because of it. They're like, Dylan, you don't control your calls. Like, you have all these assholes that keep coming in here. Like, I have all this shit, right? So here's the way to fix it. We get a president of the Skype groups that is able to say, hey, we need to get this fucking person out of here. And be like, okay, kick ban him. That's it.
A figurehead.
I don't see this working for longer than
it's not gonna work.
Robert, you are simply a naysayer. What is your role in life?
This is Skype. Let me tell you this. No one in
This-
any
this-
other group is going to follow these retarded, completely useless guidelines that they hardly even agreed on. The only people I see following it are Marshall,
Any of the
Rusty,
guidelines that you're speaking on?
and Dylan.
And I know that for a fact because they haven't been established. First of all,
The guidelines are
Dude.
what he just stated, that they have
Robert.
control and that they advise Skype calls.
Well,
with them.
no, it's not exactly that.
That's not a
It's,
guideline, that's a protocol.
It's not exactly. Okay, let me explain. It's not just us. We would vote with people. We have the Skype Congress coming up, and we would have
Skype
all this
Congress.
shit. That's right.
This
We
is
would all
literally to the point to where it's 110% just, like, roleplay.
Yeah. Okay. So, for example,
This is
right,
literal
it would,
Skype roleplay.
It would be literal action because think of it, like Mimi, for example. You think
It's
Mimi has a problem called?
functioning.
I don't care
Do you
who's
think
in what calls. No one really bothers me.
Okay.
If I own a
Then
call, I
repeat it.
kick whoever I want to kick because it's my goddamn call.
Okay. Well, Mimi, for example, she comes and calls. She hangs up on people or whatever, right? We would
Then
probably
just remove.
vote. Yeah, exactly. But one of the first things we would do is create what's called sanction or an embargo against Mimi, and then we would kick banners from every group. That would be it.
Well, every group you guys have. There's still, like, every other group, though. Which is the whole problem here. Like, my question
I
is, how
got
are
it
you
in
going to
my
get every
iMac.
group to follow these, like,
Robert, what do
these
you
by
legislations,
having
per
what's
se?
by having what's called
Listen,
by
hey,
having
Robert.
what's called moderated group settings. That's it. Okay.
Moderated group. I don't think Django's going to follow. Do you think Django's going to follow these?
Listen
No,
to me,
Django
Robert?
doesn't care. It doesn't
Do you
matter.
think that it's even possible to actually control every group on Skype?
No.
No, but that's
That's not
the
the whole-
point of why I don't understand why you're doing this. Like,
The whole
How do you-
point.
what's
no,
just
the
care
point-
after a
point.
month?
It's
The
for
point
the
is to
government
control-
of his groups. What
Yeah,
do you not
exactly.
get? Are
The
you,
fact that he's going all this trouble just to elect the people that he knows he wants to control his groups.
Dylan, are you breaking a sweat currently?
Sorry,
Whoa.
I'm walking around. I just
He's
want
having
to
a
see
good
what
time. He's enjoying his day.
Yeah, it's
There's
fun.
no
It's
trouble.
fun.
You're
It's
you're
fun,
you're the only one
Robert.
who seems to have any issue.
I don't have a problem with it, I'm curious about it.
It's
Oh,
fun.
fuck
Robert,
you.
you're a
It's literally,
naysayer.
it's literally funny.
Tango,
It's
shut
literally-
up! Nobody's talking to you. Go smoke another fucking meth pipe.
Whoa.
Nobody's talking to me. I'm pretty sure that this is a group conversation. So if you can't
I'm
handle it,
asking for your
you can
opinion.
leave.
I'm trying to talk to Dylan. Like,
Alright,
no one
Robert,
is
so
asking
PM
for
him
this
or
right now.
private call him.
Anyways,
If he
Dylan,
has time
as
for
we
you,
were saying
then he
beforehand,
does.
before the crazy
Apparently.
meth head started talking.
This is actually on the
What were you
record.
saying?
see? So he's actually busy right now.
So, Dylan, the
Okay,
whole
yeah,
thing
what
is
was
for
the
your.
point?
You should make that publicly known because, like, Django and everyone else and all the other groups that have no. Like, this is everywhere. This is in public. I mean, I guess that's fucking. Yeah, like, this is in every group now.
Right.
Like, yeah, Rusty posted it in Vinoverse. Like, it's in every call I look and I see this little fucking paste bin. Just randomly.
Hole.
Because the reason it's in any other group is that it's because if anybody ever wants to come into my Skype government, to just be warned that.
But, like, let's be real here. Would you actually expect or allow Django to be in your call? Or do you think
No,
he would
I
even
wouldn't.
join at that?
What do you what's
I
your
don't
fascination with
expect him to
Django?
join-
I'm
I don't
curious. Hey
expect
Robert,
him
I
to
have a
join
question.
because-
What's your fascination with Django?
I have
Why
no
is he on your
fascination with
brain so much?
Django. I'm asking him of a very person that's very
I don't
fucking...
expect him to
like,
join because he's a bitch,
opinionated.
dude. That's why. Okay.
Okay, so then why is he on why is he on, like, the fucking, like, I guess the voting system?
If I understand correctly, you're fascinated with Django
as a
because he's
meme-
opinionated? Is
as-
that what you said?
as a
I said I'm
meme,
not
it's a-
fascinated with him. I'm asking because he's opinionated.
It's as a meme. A
You're
meme.
asking-
Well, I got that
Because-
much, yes. I know it's
Why
a meme.
Django?
That
Why-
makes sense why you, Rusty... Why
Why
is even
are you
Enigma
curious
getting
about
voted for? Enigma won't join. Doug would probably be in on this as a joke. Ron would definitely love this.
What's your
Marshall
concern with
would love this.
what is your concern with
I don't know
Django?
who Gumby is.
You keep ignoring me, but
Gumby would love it, yeah.
I think there's
Prophet's just retarded. I mean, let's be real here. But Rusty, yeah, he used... Wait, are you telling me that Rusty is not out of the polls for using his fucking Russian hacking system, aka Discord, to get votes?
You said or what?
What?
Discord is a
No, this is for Skype. not for Discord.
He
You
could
brought
if we
up
find out he's
Discord.
hacking,
You just brought it
He's
up.
the one
we
using
find out-
Discord to drop it in.
if we find out he's been hacking or whatever, we can disqualify him and he won't be in the main.
Well, he has posted it in his Discords to get people to vote on it.
That's not in Skype, though.
That's not.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So why are they voting on it if they're not on Skype? So
Disqualified.
shouldn't he not be ahead of the polls? It's like if I was to vote from outside the country. Say I was in, like, I don't know, Europe, right? Let's say I was in France and I voted for someone to win president in America. I should not be allowed. Dylan, you need to monitor your polls. Soren's votes are legit. Your votes are legit. Enigma's, I don't know who even voted for Enigma. Kangas are legit. Doug's are legit. Ron, and then no one voted for Blazing Wookie.
Nobody
Stupid
voted.
asshole.
Yeah, Kanga and Blazing Wookie were at 0 yesterday.
Why
Yeah,
is
but
he
that's only
walking
because-
dick?
Django finally got in
I didn't know about the campaign until today.
Enigma has 12. I don't think he even knows about it.
Hey, question about the recording process right now. Like, are you recording the screen or just the audio?
Everything.
Right.
What's going on?
And then Drew. Oh, Drew would love this. Fucking A.
Drew's losing. He's in the polls.
I can honestly, like, the top 3 are you, Soren, and Rusty. Like, this is gonna be, I feel like Soren's just gonna go along with it, because he's just gonna love the meme. But still,
Well,
it's like,
the top 4 get to go to the main election. So right now it looks like Rusty, Soren, me, and Enigma will go to the main election if it goes like this for long for us.
this is such, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, overcomplicated meme.
The word you're looking for was pageantry.
No. But okay. It's just such an overcomplicated meme. Like, this has gone so far and so bizarre that it just doesn't make sense. Like, you realize, Dylan, that you could have just, like, made Rusty, Soren, or even Enigma, like, an admin, right? And you could have just called it at that.
He's making it
Like,
democratic.
you're making this so much harder than it has to be.
I would never
That's your
make
opinion,
a
and you're
meme.
entitled to it. But
Like,
don't
this
believe
has
it.
gone to the point of, like, bizarre.
Yeah. I realize that. It's just I wanted.
It's funny, I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely funny. It's literally like
Do you understand
Skype presidential
why?
Because,
RP at this point.
okay,
Do you understand why democratic processes are even used? Like, do you get why people
Skype.
vote? Do you get why people vote?
Yes.
Why-
because
why-
there's
why
a real
countries-
president that controls our actual lives. This is Skype for
Why-
one group.
Listen.
This is totally
why
different.
countries? Why do entire countries hold elections?
Oh my god, Kanga's
Why?
actually retarded.
So that people can embrace their leader instead of a king
No,
being
this
born.
is literally Dylan's call. He's already the leader of his call.
I'm explaining to you.
So there's no need to
Democracy.
explain nothing here.
I'm explaining to you democracy.
I already know democracy. I live in a democracy. I'm in America.
And democracy.
We grew
Okay.
up learning about democracy.
Why would a democracy do better than a feudal system?
Oh my god. Kanga, let me explain you something, bud. This is the internet.
Answer the
Okay?
question.
And if people
can you
own
answer
their
the
own
question
Skype
first,
call,
Robert?
right, bud? Right?
Robert,
Say I make a
before you
Skype
act,
call right now, which I just
intelligent?
did. I can add and remove who I want in my Skype call. And if I don't know if you know this, but Dylan's the owner of his call, right?
Yeah.
So he can remove whoever he wants. He
Right.
doesn't need to have a presidential campaign for it.
I understand.
This is
I just.
Skype.
I thought it would be fun.
It is fun, yes. It is totally funny. Like, I totally get the joke. It's just so dumb and so bizarre that I just can't help but, like,
Well, I mean,
watch.
it's because it makes it so complicated. Like so many people are taking it seriously.
Yeah, I don't even think they're
Actually.
taking it serious, and they're taking it false serious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just doing it as a joke. And that's what makes it just so,
Robert,
like,
that's
how
just
did you get
you're
so
a
many
cynical-
people on this meme?
You're a cynical and miserable person. That's the only reason.
This is Skype, Kanka.
Yeah,
How
and you're
hard
a
must you
cynical
be
person.
that Skype and reality are entwined together?
They're not. But here's the
Do
thing.
you understand
Right?
that? Like, have you ever heard of a swatting, for instance?
Yes, Kanga. I've been on the internet.
That is that's an
Retards
instance where
taking
it
things
becomes
personal
real.
on Skype.
Listen, do you understand that shit gets real? because it is real.
No.
Because
Shit
I'm an
gets
actual
real.
person.
Right.
People get their emotions and their
You're an
feelings
actual
and
person,
that's
too.
it.
So Robert,
It's a-
it is a little serious. I mean, they would be able to control some aspects of the Skype call and determine who's in the
Your
cabinet.
Skype call, yes.
Yeah, they would be able to determine, but they would not be admin. There would still be some branch of power.
So now
but
there's,
I would,
okay. So
So
not
before
only is
we
there going to be a
go and call,
president, there's going to be a Congress to control the president of your... Okay. You realize that if Soren wins presidency, right? And then Rusty
Yeah.
gets Congress and some other people, let's say Marshall, right? Soren is never going to be able to have a choice. And vice versa, if Rusty wins and Soren gets Congress, with etc. Like, this is just going to be one big circle. Like, Rusty's going to have to win, or Marshall's going to have to win. One or the other. To even have anything go.
true. I don't think Soren's gonna win, but if he does, he has a
Robert, how
chance
big
to
is your
win.
group?
I don't own a group anymore. I make groups every now and then, but I don't keep them very long.
So you keep saying that the influence of Dylan's group is like not even worth
Dylan
contesting.
makes groups every day.
Right, but he has the ones that have longevity versus the pissaways.
I mean, if you want to talk about longevity, we can talk about Melancholia's call.
Mhm.
We can talk about Django's call. We can talk about Vinoverse.
Okay.
What-
But I'm
Those
saying
calls
from where
have
you're
been up
from where
for
you're standing,
months on end.
from where you're standing,
Dylan's calls
are
stay
a
up
bit
for... What would you say, Dylan? About a week to a month? And then you make a new one, or like a new one at night?
Lately they've been staying up on and off for months, actually, Robert.
Really? Finally. It's about time they finally
lately,
picked
yeah.
up.
Robert, I think
It's
you need to
just-
do some.
yeah.
I think that's because,
some more
what's
research.
it called? That's because
Updated
Rusty... Does Rusty even have a group anymore?
You're a
Yeah,
bit
I know he
yeah.
stays in Melancholia's call a lot.
Yeah. It's because of actually Extreme Zero and Marshall and all that. We all just come together and fucking do.
Yeah, you
shit,
guys
right?
have Marshall's Dungeon, and then you have like
Yeah.
Bohemian Raps. What the fuck? How many groups do you have just on my list? Skype UN. No, that's Melancholia.
Then it's Rusty. Thank you.
Yeah, Rusty, Melancholia, and who else?
Big
Zero.
participation. You
No.
are just
Shane.
You're just lame. That's all there is to it.
And you have
Can't
Dylan
get
Burke.
down with the get down.
Stillaverse inspired.
I think if anything, you're probably underneath it all a little bit envious of you not even being on the ballot.
Shit.
Wait, what is he?
Not even on the ballot. You're
I
right.
wouldn't want to be on the ballot. I would just meme about it and just say I
What
want
if
to
we-
give thoughts to everyone.
Can I?
A
Can
naysayer,
I-
yes, you're the peanut gallery.
Hold on,
I told you
hold
that
on.
just at the beginning.
Hey, Robert, can I
Full
put
circle.
you on a? Can I put you on a Senate ballot for the meme for one of my groups?
I don't care if you want to.
Why don't you
See?
become senator of? Let me see what group it would be. Not Breakfast Club. Trying to think of what group it would be. Let's see.
I
here.
think you might actually be worse than Patrick.
What if you run for senator of Dillaverse?
I'm not gonna do anything. I'm literally just gonna have my name there, and then I'm just gonna let it sit there.
That's exactly like Patrick in the Kingdom. Patrick fucking bought Princess Tomb Raider, the
I like
collector's
me
edition.
not participating in a Skype Senate, like me buying my game. Those are two very separate things.
Are you Patrick?
No, obviously fucking not.
I was speaking about Patrick.
No, you were saying you're just like Patrick.
Yes.
And then you
Because
compared
you
me to
would-
Patrick.
you
And
would
then you
allow
compared
me,
that
like-
to the case of buying her a game, which makes no sense in the context. But okay. Thank you, Kanga.
That's because you're.
See, Dylan, this
and you
is
don't
this is
listen.
one of your forerunners. I hope you know this. If this doesn't explain that this thing is all
Robert, you have
terrible,
2 ears,
I don't know what to tell
1
you.
mouth, and no brain.
Like, his brain, Dylan. You have a candidate that has been rotted by the methamphetamines for years now. To the point to where his brain
Robert,
and reality is so
I don't know what you're
polluted
talking
apart from each other.
Oh my god!
Look at that, Dylan. You see that? He can kick. Dylan, this is one of your.
Well, stop kicking him! Stop!
Dylan, how do you feel about your
He's
candidate?
trying to incriminate me. On the record.
How do you feel about your candidate now, Dylan? He's kicking people. How does that look to the public eye?
See, that's against the freedom.
Exactly. That's against the. See, he was talking about democracy. Then he wants to
He
kick spam.
He is infringing
Now he's gonna get a taste
upon
of some
freedom.
medicine. Because this is what a real democracy is about. Eye for an eye. Dylan. Eye for an eye. You gonna want a meth head run, Dylan? I don't think so.
It is on the record that he's doing that, by the way.
Oh yeah. There's also the case that he was blowing a meth cloud when he lifted his camera up, so you know. I mean, hey. This is why it should be only you. So